Breakfast with your Coys. Oh yeah. Breakfast with your Coys. Breakfast with your Coys. Oh yeah. Breakfast with your Coys. Breakfast with your Coys.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. We are closing in on the weekend. A weekend when Spurs don't play. Of course, we are out of the FA Cup as expected. So it's a weekend off for Tottenham. Apparently, the players are jetting off around the world for a 5-day break. All right for some, isn't it? All right for some who haven't performed all season. But it is what it is, guys. Good morning. I hope everyone's well. It is the morning after the day before when Thomas Frank got sacked as Spurs manager, finally got sacked as Spurs manager. And it's all kicked off since, hasn't it? It is all kicked off since. Some of the things we are hearing, crazy. Um, Getting the impression Thomas Frank wasn't a popular figure around Tottenham Hotspur. Now, whether that's true or not, I do not know, but it certainly feels like something was amiss there. Obviously, we saw things happening at the start of the season. After the Chelsea game, you had Spence and you had Van der Ven ignoring Thomas Frank. And you just felt that during this season, things have happened. And maybe Thomas Frank hasn't really had the reins or the tight reins on that dressing room that he should have. And now, like I say, things are coming out all over the place about how some of the squad felt, how the directors felt, how people felt around the club about Thomas Frank. Again, like I say, whether it's true or not is another thing. But lots of rumours coming out, and we will go through some of them today and also look at obviously who may come in next for Tottenham Hotspur. Listen, I don't know. I don't know who I want in charge at Spurs currently. It is one of them, isn't it? Whoever comes in, it is a poisoned chalice. Whoever takes this job, on one hand, is a win-win because if you come in and you fail, well, every other manager's failed. So what does it really matter? You know, you move on, you go to another club, you probably do well. Though, if you come in and you do well, you become an absolute cult hero, a legend. A bit like Ange Postecoglou did, even though he was terrible for most of his reign. Of course, won that trophy and will always be remembered for that. And isn't it typical that the day Thomas Frank was sacked, Ange Postecoglou is on the overlap? Haven't seen it yet. I will be watching later on when I get home, guys. If any of you have seen it, let me know what you think. I've just seen little snippets of obviously the fact that they knew Frank had been sacked, and then, but I haven't seen the actual interview yet. And Sean Dyche has also been sacked from Nottingham Forest. So listen, it's happening. People are getting sacked left, right, and centre. And Sean Dyche, Nottingham Forest, I think 2 or 3 managers in a season. Absolutely mental, but that is Nottingham Forest for you. Great result for Spurs last night. Forest not being able to win, and a great result for Spurs. Palace lost at home to Burnley, so things went our way last night as far as results go. Let's hope now Tottenham can push on with whoever's in charge. Whoever's in charge, guys. What do we think of this? The Spurs players given 5 days off. 5 days off. I think a lot of them are flying out to sunnier climates to get some rest. Do they deserve it? Should we be on the training ground trying to put this shit show of a season right? For me, we should. It also tells me that the board have no idea what they're doing. We have no idea what we're doing. So take 5 days off, because chances are when you get back in 5 days, we probably still won't have a manager in charge. Spurs need to act quickly, in my opinion. We can't afford to rest on our laurels. We have to employ someone quickly. We can't be now going into the North London Derby week without a manager. So it's so important that Spurs get this done and get this done quickly. But who? Who is going to be in charge? Who do you want, guys? Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'm going to run through some of the rumours quickly before I go onto the chat. Because guys, it is all about you. But let's go through three of the rumours, and then I want to play you a video which I find hilarious. I'm guessing you've all seen it already, but just got to watch this video just for the end bit. I might get demonetized for it. I don't care. It's funny. It is what it is. Let's go through the news though. Some of the rumours that I'm hearing currently. And this one says almost from day one, there was a feeling within the squad that Thomas Frank placed too much emphasis on the opposition in training and preparation. A source said most of the work was on what to do out of possession and how to nullify the opposition rather than working on how they would hurt the opponents. Yep, I've heard this a few times. What do we make of this? Not really a Tottenham way, is it? And again, this one come out. Many of the Spurs players did not enjoy the limited nature of Thomas Frank's football. Another source, close to one senior first team player said just before Frank's dismissal that he was ultimately a coach for a smaller team focused on compact defensive shape, long balls, and counterattacks. And we did see that a lot this season, didn't we? Regardless, I noticed it against Newcastle, a lot of long balls. It was all long ball football. Wasn't for me in the end. The player in question feeling that he was only able to perform at 10% of his potential because of Frank's restrictive tactics. It'd be interesting to know who that player was. Maybe Xavi Simons. Who knows? Who knows, guys? Let me know what you think. And this one as well. Some of the Spurs leadership felt they should sack Thomas Frank as long as 4 months ago. Certain figures in the hierarchy then pushed that again just before Christmas until it became a repeated subject of debate every Saturday over January. Figures close to the board were even complaining about Groundhog Day, and they felt it was like they're having the same discussion every weekend. Now, for me, that's really bloody annoying because it does feel like we just let it run until the transfer window shut. And then we're like, okay, transfer window shut. Now we get rid of him. They were never going to back him in January, were they? Let's be honest. If that was the case, if they were having meetings every week about Thomas Frank, which we kind of know they were because he was on his last legs for a while, they were never going to back him. They were never going to spend money. I think the fans dreaming of Tottenham spending big in January was never going to happen because we all knew that Frank was on his last legs and Gallagher was probably a club signing. There are rumours, of course, that some of the players knew that Frank was selling Johnson to get Gallagher in. I don't believe that one because Johnson was sold on the 1st of January. Gallagher didn't come into the middle of the month. And that seemed to be like a last minute thing. I don't know, out of the blue, but we will see. And then this one as well, which made me laugh. Spurs listed 10 characteristics they wanted in a Spurs coach last summer, and Thomas Frank ticked all of the boxes. But really, there are only two that matter at Tottenham: aim high, play with style, and Frank failed with both. I absolutely agree with that. I'm sorry, I know people don't like talking about the Tottenham way, but there is a way of playing at Spurs, and it's not worrying about what your opposition do. It is worrying about what you can do going forward, in my opinion. But right now, as of now, we need a manager to come in who's going to A, get results, B, steady the ship. And who is that man? I'm not sure. Before I go to the chat, I'm going to play this video. It did make me laugh. Just wait for the stare at the end, guys. It's absolutely brutal. It really is. Let's see what he has to say.
But that's a fair question. I'll just say what I do is I'll work very hard. I'll make sure we do everything we can to put a competitive team out there that's ready to fight. Thank you, Thomas. You're welcome.
I'm sorry.
That stare said it all, didn't it? Absolutely said it all as we get myself back. Um, absolutely loved that stare at the end. That was "Do not F with me. You have screwed me over there, mate, big time." Yeah, that stare actually made me think, I'm quite scared. I'm quite scared of Thomas Frank now. He looks like he could be a bit of an animal. Um, but yeah, I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. I find it funny. Anyway, I did find it funny. Let's go to the chat. Siphoning says, finally, Frank is out. He is. Who do we bring in now? Who is next through the door at Tottenham Hotspur? Um, do we want Poch back? If we do, that's going to be a summer thing. I don't know, guys. Siphoning also saying, also it sucks that Odegaard is out for the season. Isn't that typical? Isn't it absolutely typical? You know, literally, we have no wingers. We have no wingers anymore. You know, Kudus out, Johnson sold. God, I can't think of who. Odegaard out. Who else have we got out? There's another one. I can't remember. There is another one though. But so many wingers out. Effectively, we have Tao, and he's not even a winger, is he? Guys, we're in a spot of bother. We're going to have to find a way of playing with the players that we have, right? But hopefully, we will get some sort of bounce. It seems like a lot of these players did not want to play for Thomas Frank, so we will see what happens and if we can get something better out of them. Siphoning says the club needs to bring Poch back. I think it's got to be Poch, hasn't it? Absolutely has to be Pochettino. The trouble is, it's not going to be to the end of the summer, right? So, what do we do? What do we do? Pochettino always seems to start slowly as well. Are the fans going to put up with that? Are they going to back him or are they going to lose patience quickly? I think the next manager, whoever comes in, Tottenham Hotspur have to get it right. The fans have to be prepared to back this manager. We can't be turning on him after 3 or 4 games if we're not winning games, right? We cannot do it. We have to try and back this manager. The team are not good enough. The players are not good enough, in my opinion. You know, some of them are, of course, yeah, but some of them are not good enough. It's going to take a while. This is now turning into a rebuild for me. Um, I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. Steve is in. Big up, mate. It says, good morning, Nige. It says, bring back Redknapp. He wants a job. Wouldn't be against that either for interim. I said it last night. I wouldn't be against even bringing Redknapp in alongside Sherwood, have like a double team, and Redknapp can come in a couple of days a week. You know, he's kind of, he's got that charisma, hasn't he? He knows what he's doing. Sherwood also could, light a rocket up their arses. I don't know whether a double team of Sherwood and Redknapp would work, to be honest, because they probably both got their own opinions. My worry for Redknapp is that he is 79 years old and, you know, absolutely loved him as a manager. He's no doubt fit as a fiddle still, but he does look a little bit frailer, of course, than he used to because he is getting older. But I would take him in a heartbeat. Just get someone around him who knows how, who's like can coach every day, and then Redknapp can come in. This is what we have. Team meetings for, isn't it? On laptops. It doesn't need to be there every day. His face can still be in front of the players, but he doesn't need to be there. Jimmy's in, saying big up, Nige. Good morning, big up to you, Jimmy. I hope you're well, mate. And Steve says, as interim, obviously, yep. I think, yeah. Guys, I think it has to be an interim now, doesn't it? And then see what we can bring in the summer. Hopefully, that's Pochettino. For me, a Xavi Hernandez wouldn't work because I just don't see Premier League football suiting this kind of style he wants to play. Personally, listen, one of the greatest players in world football in his day. I'm not sure whether he could transform that tick-a-tack of football into Premier League football, and we've definitely not got the players for it. So for me, he wouldn't work, but that's just my opinion. Finn says, I can already picture the board meeting where they discuss who the new manager should be. The first thing said will be right. Who's the cheapest option? Absolutely. And we cannot do that, right? We cannot be going down the route of who's the cheapest option. We have to go for the best option. A manager that's going to take this club forward. We absolutely have to get this manager decision right. Rodney's in saying, big up. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Rodney. I hope you're well, mate. And Siphoning says, our players should be on the pitch training. I agree, to be honest with you. Give them a day off, but not 5 days. But then Steve says, think 5 days off will help. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I get it. Give them a day, give them 2 days. 5 days is, for me, I don't know. I don't think we should be doing that. But at the same time, we don't want any more injuries. Who knows? Ben says, I could argue that players like Van der Ven, Xavi, Polinia deserve a holiday. Others not so much. True. Maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe I'm being harsh. I just think, you know, I want players to be like, no, let's put this right. Let's put this right. Let's get on the training ground. But of course, if they've not got a manager there to guide them anyway, I guess what's the point? For me, it's not so much the players. It's not so much, the players should be training. It's more, it's almost like the club is saying, yeah, we don't know what we're doing. Take 5 days off. You know, the club should have a plan. We should know, you know, absolutely Frank needed to go, but they should have a plan. We should know what we're doing. We should have someone in place. Remember when we sacked Pochettino back in the day? Literally within a couple of hours, Mourinho was named as a manager. That's what I wanted to see. So I'm hoping for something like that today. I just feel it's going to be one of those where this could roll on for 5, 6, 7 days, and even like 2 days before the North London derby. It's like, oh, can't find anyone. Heitinga, you can do it. Not ideal, in my opinion. Jimmy says, I agree with the 5 days off, Nige. We cannot afford any more injuries, and rest is really good for a reset of the mind. Clear heads needs for rest of season and a new voice in the dressing room. Yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because I don't know. For myself, I get it. Myself, I would just, if it was me, I'd want to be in and around my teammates and, you know, trying to put it right. But listen, it's horses for courses at the end of the day. If it works, fantastic. Listen, they take 5 days off. We go and beat Arsenal North London derby. Nobody's moaning, right? Everyone's like, what a great idea. If we then go and get hammered by Arsenal, which we probably will, suddenly it's like, 5 days off, really? It's, yeah, it is what it is. Barbaric says, good morning, Nige, you youthful young man. Smash the likes and sub, people. Help push this fantastic channel out there. Thank you very much, Barbaric. Yes, please like, please subscribe if you haven't. Just over 40 in the house so far. I know there's not overly too much to talk about. It's getting to a point in the season where the players are taking 5 days off. You know, we've got no game, but of course we have no manager, and that needs to be sorted. So it's a good time to chat who we will think, who we'd want in, and who we think will come in. And yeah, it's always good to talk football. But big up, Barbaric. Cookie's in. Say morning, mate. Good morning to you, Cookie. The 2 Mark show is on at 10 o'clock, I believe, today. So, guys, get over to them at 10 o'clock and watch their show. I won't be redirecting you because I will be finished by 9:30. So I don't want you waiting in a room for half hour, but they are on at 10 o'clock. So make sure you tune in for that. And Glenn Derbyshire says, need to stop with the Poch stuff. Obviously love him, but if it goes wrong, he will just turn him into, yeah, I kind of agree, but for me, he's the only one. He's the only one right now, Glenn, that I think could unite this fan base. And I would love him. I would love him back at Spurs. I really would. Whether it works or not, listen, what manager does work? You know, what manager does work? It's one of them. But if Poch does come back, he has to be backed. This board, ENIC, have to 100% get behind him. Get behind him. No good bringing him in otherwise. Drula's in, saying good morning, Nige, and the pure Coys crew. Good morning to you, Drula. I hope you're well. And Glenn says the reason for all these injuries need looking into. We've been really, really unlucky, haven't we, with injuries? And they're all serious injuries as well. They're not just like little injuries here and there. Yeah, he's out for a week. He's out for 10 days. No, they're like season-ending injuries. And we are literally down to the bare bones. Drula says he's going to use Mawani and Tao as wingers. He is. My concern is if one of them picks up an injury, which is quite likely, we then have nothing. We have no way of changing a game now, do we? We are literally down to the fit 11. Um, but hopefully, then we might see some of the academy players come through. Williams Barnett, I'd love to see what he can do. Let's get him on. And if we get an injury to Tau or Moani, he will have to play. That's where we are, right? That is where we are. We could be relying on a 17-year-old to get us through. And listen, that's not all the club's fault. You know, this amount of injuries is unprecedented. It's crazy, but it is what it is, and we need to work with it. The press is in, sends big up Nige, Cookmeister, and everyone in the chat. That interview must have been early in Thomas Frank's tenure, as he had more grey hair than Santa Claus at the end. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was. I think that interview was the last one. That was his. That I think that was the interview in the last game against Newcastle, mate. It was yeah, that stare. Woo, the death stare. Vindaloo's in saying morning night, Sean Dyche available. And here help fight relegation. Apparently, Frank was telling the players how good Arsenal are, and that they are the peasants of Arsenal. Yeah, I mean, I did hear that as well. Some of the players not happy that he was talking up Arsenal. I mean, what is this guy doing, right? What is this guy doing? And that Arsenal mug against Bournemouth. It is what it is. He was clearly set up a little bit there. But listen, Frank isn't the man. He wasn't the man. He's now gone. We have to look forward. Who do we want in charge at Tottenham? Obviously, Poch is the big name. He is the one that everyone's clambering for. He is the one that everyone thinks is going to be Spurs manager. But I can remember thinking this before Ange Postecoglou was signed. It's like, Poch is coming back. There's so much news about it. Poch is twerking for Tottenham in interviews, and Spurs don't make the call, and he ends up going to Chelsea. So let's see. Let's see. Listen, I'd love Poch back. Would it surprise me if he come back? No. But it also wouldn't surprise me if he went totally down a different avenue and maybe got someone left field. I'm hearing, as of last night, Gareth Southgate could be a name on the list. Oh, Jesus, Gareth Southgate. Not for me. Siphoning saying we should bring in Robbie Keane or bring Harry Redknapp back to manage his interim. I agree with Redknapp. I really do. Robbie Keane is someone I would love in 3 or 4 years. Maybe if I don't want to keep mentioning Poch because I know people rolling their eyes. Maybe if Poch come back for 4 or 5 years, won us a couple of trophies, put a few in the cabinet, and then Robbie Keane come in then. I'd love that. Don't think Robbie Keane's ready. Not yet. And also, he's already said he's not going to come back for an interim job. Not when he's got a full-time job at Ferencváros, I think. Don't see him coming back for a part-time job just yet. But I think maybe in the future, I'd love Robbie Keane back at Spurs. Let's just see how he grows. You know who I would love to come in and do a job? Now, whether he'd do a good job or not, I don't know. But this is the old romantic in me. I would love Jan Vertonghen to come in. Jan Vertonghen just to come in, that leadership, get in there and just say, look, this is what it means to play for Tottenham Hotspur. Don't even know if he can manage a side, but we're at that point, right, where it's not about how good you are as a manager so much. It's about getting someone in who loves Tottenham, knows the club, and just can get us over the line by hook or by crook. Football now, out the window. The football right now is out the window. We can think about that again in the summer. Let's get some results and see where we can go. Vindaloo said, frankly, I think Frank was correct. Quite possibly, Vindaloo, quite possibly. We will see. Big game for you boys tonight. Man City winning last night, putting a bit of pressure on. Let's see whether Arsenal can cope with the pressure. I think they'll be fine. But, adds a bit of drama. Drula saying, Vinny. Siphoning says, I wouldn't complain about an Ange as interim. Oh, Siphoning. No. We can't go back there, surely. Surely we can't go back there. Not for me. Not for me. Glenn says we have some good players. I added very then. We have some good players, just need someone to get them together. Listen, I agree. Listen, I never like a manager to be sacked. And I admit, I was excited. I was excited about Frank coming in. I thought he would do a good job. But I feel now with him gone, this could unleash a Xavi Simons. It could give him that freedom to get the best out of him. You know, when we signed Simmons, we were all really excited, right? Because he is a really good player. But I feel like he's been, he's been stopped from playing, stopped from opening up, stopped from giving because Frank and it's come out. Frank was more interested in what other teams were doing than what we could do to other teams. And it's going to be interesting to see who comes in now, just to let these players off the leash a little bit and get them attacking, which would be lovely. Barbaric saying good morning, Davinders. Ghosted. Big up, Nige. Big up to you, Ghosted. I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're well, guys. Smash that like button. I really would appreciate it. I'm just going through the chat. Lots of people saying hello to each other, which is always good. Glenn saying they pay managers a fortune, so wouldn't be a cheap option, just the wrong option. Listen, I tell you what is a cheap option, and that's Heitinger. For me, guys, what do we think about Heitinger taking over as a manager? For me, it is a cheap option. It is, he's already there. Is it going to change much? We've got rid of Frank. Surely we need a fresh voice in the changing room. Someone who's really going to stick a rocket up these asses of these players. I feel that Heitingham, he's kind of been there, isn't he, through it? So I agree he hasn't been there long, but he's still been there enough time to maybe just be part of the furniture, if you know what I mean. But what I will say about Heitinger is that apparently, and again, it is apparently, him and Frank had a few bust-ups, a few arguments about tactics. Heitinger's a lot more front-footed, whereas Frank was a lot more defensive. So, listen, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Heitinger as an interim, fine, but it doesn't fill me with excitement. And I would worry that nothing would change and the players would be a little bit like, well, same kind of team. I don't know. Vindaloo Prez, would you take Poch? Personally, I think it's not a good idea, but your fan base need closure and will unite the fan base. I think, Vindal, I think you're scrabbling around there, mate. I think you think that it would be a great idea deep down, but maybe you're like, no, we don't want Tottenham to get Poch back because they will be great again. I don't know. The press said it's funny how Spurs now blame Thomas Frank for the window at the end. Why not put him out of his misery and sack him before January? And exactly this present. A lot of people said it. Sava said it last night. It's either back him or sack him, right? In January, back him or sack him. We did neither. And I think a lot of people knew that come February, Frank would be out of the job once the window shut. And that's exactly what's happened. But at the same time, I don't blame Spurs for not spending a lot of money in January if they thought they were going to sack Frank. It's difficult, isn't it? Sack him at the start of January, fine. But they still got to get a new manager in then. And we know what Spurs are like. It never takes a day. It always takes 3 or 4 weeks to sort some out. So I think they probably thought, what's the point? Because it could be a while before we get a new manager in. And then this new manager has to decide what players he wants. So we might as well keep Frank. I get it. I really do. Do I agree with it? Not really. I think Spurs should have a plan. But let's be honest, we've never had a plan. It's what we do. Suit Measured said the clowns upstairs didn't back him in January, kept him 5 months too long, and only just got rid of him. That's the problem. Yeah, I think, from what I'm getting, I think a lot of people knew he wasn't the man for the job early doors. But it is what it is. It really is. There's not a lot we can do. I've lost my place. Loads of people in there, guys. Keep smashing that like button, hitting the subscribe if you haven't already. Guys, if I've missed your chat, then I am so sorry. But I've lost my place and I'm going to go with what I go with now. Steve says the next permanent manager appointment is pivotal for the board. They get it wrong again. They will know it from the fans. With an interim, I've heard is more likely to be an external appointment. Wow. Okay. Let's see what happens. Do we think something's going to happen today? I think something has to happen this week, right? If they've given the players 5 days off, something has to happen this week. We can't be waiting around um, with no manager. It's so important we get stuff done today. And Ghost is saying the players exactly. We moan, we buy crap, and when the manager declines crap, he takes the heat. Yes, it's difficult, isn't it? It really is. Lee Payne, big up, mate. It says 5 days off sounds like Enoch are up to no good and don't want anyone around. Maybe. Or maybe the decorators are in, maybe they're, painting the changing rooms or the training ground. Who knows? It is what it is. Vindaloo, talking to Drula, Ghosted saying these players don't deserve 1 day off, let alone 5. That's where I am, mate. That's where I am with it. I think, listen, give them a couple of days off, but I don't think 5 days, I think it's a bit excessive for me. It is what it is. Siphon says, I've played FIFA career mode quite a few times. I'll hop on the technical area for free if Enoch need me. I mean, who knows, mate? We could do with you in the technical area. Do you think maybe maybe Thomas Frank went through too many iPads and it was just costing the club too much? And they're just like, no, sorry, mate, you broke another iPad. And we're not buying any more. And Frank was like, okay, sack me. He's like, okay, we will. But Toa says Archie Gray will be our next star. Listen, Archie Gray has done well this season. Again, he's had a season where he's been put into different positions. But you know what? He always does well. He's never an 8 or 9 out of 10, but he's never a 2 out of 10 either. He's steady and he's improving. And you know what? I think this will do him good in the long term. Is he the answer? Probably not. But it's not his fault. It's not his fault. It really isn't. And I'm warming to Archie Gray. I really am. That doesn't mean to say I think he's the best thing since sliced bread. But let's see what happens. And Barbaric said players have already had 6 months off. Why another 5 days? Yeah, we will see. We will see. He was told he will be told to have a 300 million war chest for the summer until he signs a contract. Yeah, whoever comes in will be fed a load of rubbish, won't they? And then listen, as I've said, the board absolutely 100% have to back the next manager in, whoever it is. It is so important we get this right. Yeah, since Pochettino, we have got so much wrong. Mourinho clearly wasn't the man for Spurs. Nuno, terrible. Conte did okay, but then it all blew up. And Postecoglou, of course, won us a trophy, but we've gone downhill as a football club since. And Frank, worst manager in Tottenham's recent history. And he may actually be the worst manager in Tottenham's history, which I'm really surprised about because I thought Frank would do well. But it has not worked, has it? And Ghost is saying the circus continues. It absolutely does. But Toa said, I trusted our board to get the best manager in. Solid owners bring back Harry Redknapp. I don't trust the board at all to get the right manager in. But I hope they do. That's where I am. Guys, 66 in the house. Remember 66. What a year. I wasn't alive, but we won the World Cup. Guys, smash a like if you haven't already. Please hit that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. Chasing down 1,500. No subs yet today. Let's hope for a couple as we go on. Drula saying Sure was flirting with the idea for the interim job, and Harry Redknapp has said he'd also love to do the job. Exactly. There are people out there who would do it 100%. I'd take either of them right now. Vindaloo saying hi to Kate Rixham. Hi, Kate. If I've missed your chat, hi. I hope you're good. Drula saying it can only be Poch, right? He unite us all, and that's what the club needs. And it is exactly what the club needs, and it's the only thing I think that's going to get Enoch out of this hole. Of course, it's no good bringing him in if they don't back him because the fans love Poch. They absolutely love Poch. I love Poch. He was the last manager that made me fall in love with this club again. And I would love Pochettino back. And I know it is thinking with the heart and not with the head. But I've had enough of thinking with the head. I'm a fan. I want the best, and I'm passionate about the club, and I want to feel that love again. And Pochettino will give me that, even if it's for a couple of years. But Enoch need to back him. If they bring him in, they need to back him, and that's my concern. Is that they will know that, so maybe they will go a different direction. We will see. Bindaloo saying, "Don't get Redknapp and let him enjoy his retirement. You lot will put him into an early grave." I don't think Redknapp cares that much. I really don't. I think he'd do it and he'd just have fun. And listen, he won't be there every day if he did take it. One Spurs King says, with the payout Frank is getting, he can upgrade his silver membership at us. Absolutely, he's free to go to the Emirates whenever he wants now. You watch the memes coming out now with Thomas Frank will be all over Arsenal. It is what it is. Let him enjoy himself at the Gooners. Machina Joe, big up, mates. And Robbie Keane said he won't leave his job in Hungary. Absolutely. He will not. 100%. Not for an interim job anyway. Let's go through the chat. A lot of people talking to each other. Siphon says, as Ange said, season 3 is always better than season 2. Well, it wasn't this year. But obviously Ange wasn't. Now, I really don't want Ange back. Ange is not the answer. Tyrell's in. Big up, nice. Big up to you, buddy. I hope you are well, guys. If you haven't got over to Tyrell, smash a sub for him. You know, I know he's a gooner as well, but listen, he's a good gooner. And Bindaloo, if you haven't subbed to Tyrell, make sure you do. Top bloke. And he says, big up to the chat. Andrew said, Vinny, it seems you need we all need a cuddle, don't we? We all need a cuddle. Betoa says, if we smash you lot, we shit the bed, no doubt. Colin is in. Big up, Colin. Says, Borodanaj, just coming down from that shit show I went to see Tuesday. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Listen, at least you got to see Frank's last game in charge, which is something you can, I don't know, tell people. I went last season, I went to the Leicester game at Tottenham, which we lost 2-1. Absolutely poured down all day. The weather was grim, got soaked, had a cold by the end of it. And I thought it would be Ange's last game. It wasn't. But we did go on to win in Europe. So all good. Big up to you, Colin. Ash Rivers in said, Nige, I would try to entice Klopp for a short-term lucrative gig. Now, listen, hey, Klopp would be amazing, right? That would be the dream. But if we're going to go for Klopp, it's got to be full-time. Got to be full-time. But yeah, sadly, I don't see Klopp coming. But it is what it is. Andrew says, morning, nice. Sean Dyche is free. Just saying. No. I know there are some people out there who would take Sean Dyche. No, he's not doing it for Forest. You know, if Sean Dyche was out of a job and never managed Forest, then I'd be tempted to be like, you know what, get him in. He will do a job for a couple of months. But listen, Forest are a good side, as in they have good players. And if Sean Dyche can't get a tune out of them, he's not going to get a tune out of Tottenham, I don't think. So absolutely no. I know that was said tongue in cheek, Andrew, but just making sure you people know I do not want Sean Dyche in charge at Tottenham. Finn saying, is Martin Yole still alive? Just putting it out there. He is. Another one I take. Martin Yole would be fantastic back at Tottenham. A name I haven't heard mentioned, actually. And weirdly, because we've mentioned in Redknapp, Pochettino, obviously, but not Martin Yole. I take him, guys. Would you take Martin Yole? Steve said Hettinger is part of the problem. I agree. I think he had different thoughts about the team than Frank, and that's why they clashed, apparently. But again, like I say, he's been there, he's been part of it. We need a fresh face to come and mix it up. And it's going to be interesting to see what backroom staff stay and go. I think maybe we might find that out today, because I can see quite a few of them leaving. It's going to cost Spurs a fair bit of money to get rid of some of these, some of this staff, isn't it? There's no doubt about that. Ghost has said no top manager is coming into this situation we are currently in with the window already closed. No, we are going to have to literally limp our way over the line here and hope that we stay up. I think we will. I think we will just. We have three, for me, three massive games at home. Leeds United, Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace. We get 3 wins now, and I know it's easy to say on paper, right? You look at anything Tottenham against these sides, we should win. But with the injuries we have, the confidence that we have at the moment, they're going to be tough games. But if we can win those 3, I think we stay up. And maybe pick up a couple of draws at home. I think we'll be fine, but sorry, a couple of draws away. Let's see what happens. Barbaric says, until our owners have a plan, no manager is working at this club. That's just facts. 100%. 100%. And Ghost is saying, should have acted in January. Agreed. Agreed. Kate says, Nige, don't want him. That's just lazy. Absolutely. I agree. I think are we talking about Heitinger? I agree. Vindaloo said, maybe Magic Bings could help. Maybe they could. Maybe they could. Spurs King says, didn't Frank interview Heitinger for the job? That's what we were told. This is just it, mate. Who knows? You know, so many rumors going around. I have no idea. Vindaloo says, right, I'm going. Have fun. It's just gone 9 in a bit. Have a good one, Vindaloo. Take care, buddy. Always welcome in here. Siphoning says, I think that the club needs to start talks with players now for when the window opens. I agree. It's what we should be doing, right? We should have a plan in place. Well, apparently, we have got a plan in place. Did that plan include sacking Thomas Frank? You know, straight after the window, Lange come out. Yes, we have a plan. We're ready to go in the summer. And now Frank's gone. Hearing rumours, listen, it is on Twitter, so who knows? But reading rumours on Twitter that Lange could be out as well soon. I really hope that's the case. He has to go. We need a new sporting director. Paul Mitchell would be great. A Barber. Let's get somebody in who knows the club. Ghost is saying yes, and they also hired someone from Brentford last week. They have no idea what they're doing. They did, didn't they? Absolute joke of a club. Drula says, apparently Paratici said that Frank wasn't the man for the job earlier in the season. He knows his stuff, clearly. Yes. Perhaps a mess, guys. It really is. Nige has that dreadful wet lettuce. Lange needs to pack his bags. Novices running our club. I agree. Gino FC then says, morning, mate. The board really needs to get this right. Absolutely. 100% they do. We cannot fail this time. Guys, if you haven't, get over to Dino THFC. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. He does something a bit different than everyone else, and I love it. I love the question of the day. Dino's question of the day. Guys, get over to him and subscribe to his channel. Does some really good stuff. Colin saying we need a De Zerbi type fight to frighten the sides. We certainly need someone who's going to stick a rocket up their ass. Not sure whether De Zerbi's the man personally. I think he could implode the club from the inside. Maybe that's what we need, right? Maybe that's what we need. Someone to come in and just drop a bomb and blow the whole thing up and start again. But we will see what happens. The press says that's a cop-out from Spurs to explain a feeble window, irrespective of whoever the manager was. They still need players like a left wing. I agree, mate. I agree, but it's typical and usual Tottenham excuses, isn't it? It's what we do, right? Spurs King says, yes, it's a shambles, but I'm done moaning about Enoch until the fan base are willing to take action, and they're clearly not. And this is it. I agree 100%. You know, we cannot be moaning as a fan base and letting Enoch get away with it. You know, protests have been arranged. Nobody turns up. So it is what it is. And yeah, it is what. And listen, I'm one of them. I'm one of the one that moans. But then I didn't go to the last couple of protests because I don't live anywhere near London. And every weekend there's a protest. I seem to have my youngest. But I would definitely protest when I haven't got her. 100%. June is in saying, I'm worried, Nige. Very worried. I'm worried as well, mate. I really am. I think we are in a bit of trouble. But I do think we can get those 3 wins to get out of it. My concern is who we bring in. Who we bring in, you know? I'd love a Poch. But I just want a manager who plays front-footed attacking football. I'm hearing a lot of rumours about Southgate. I'm hearing a lot of rumours about Glasner. Both managers play defensive football, and as a Spurs fan, I want to see attractive football. And listen, that's just me. Everyone's different, and people will be like, "Well, I want to see winning football." Fine, fine. But I've supported Spurs for the best part of 50 years, and it's not very often that you see winning football at any club, unless you have a shitload of money and can buy leagues. You know, we take what we can get, and first and foremost, I want to see attractive football. And if that brings trophies, then fantastic along the way. I'm happy with that. Um, it depends what you want as a fan, but I'm with you, Jen. I'm really worried as well about this club at the moment. Ben said most of the £150 million transfer funds went on Thomas Frank's chewing gum. That's why they sacked him. Quite possibly. He does like chew. His jaw must be absolutely rock solid. The muscle in it, the amount of chewing that he does, absolutely crazy. The press says if Thomas Frank was at fault for the window, then where's Lang's accountability? What's he done in the recruitment team being paid for? I agree. Listen, Lange has to go as well. Absolutely has to go as well. But he hasn't as yet. Guys, over 70 of you in the house. Please smash a like. Really would appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't. There must be at least 2 or 3 of you in who haven't subscribed. I really would appreciate a sub. Helps me grow. And, that's it, really. Dino says, Nige, I posted a proper Spurs X-rated video on TikTok the other day. I will go and have a look for sure. Dr. Tottenham Therapy says, I would go with Harry to the end of the season and then Poch. I'm with you there, mate. I am absolutely with you. Guys, if you haven't subbed to Dr. Tottenham Therapy, get over and sub to Dr. Tottenham Therapy. He's another new channel. And listen, we all need to help each other out as Tottenham fans. UK Darren fan, just subbed. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Thank you for the 2 subs this morning. I appreciate each and every one of you. Shem Tam says, morning, Nige. Hey, Sean Dyche is now looking for work. Hope you're good, mate. I'm good, mate. I don't want Sean Dyche anywhere near Tottenham. I really don't. I think we need to learn from Forest's mistakes, yeah, and definitely not go near him. Batoa says, will you take Southgate? No, not really. Not really. Again, he rocks a waistcoat, but that's not the answer for me. Southgate's very defensive, but again, right now is all about results, right? We have to get results. So guys, who do you want? Who do you want now as an interim to get us those results? I'm guessing Harry Redknapp's like the popular choice, right? Harry Redknapp, Tim Shaw was someone Tottenham. You know what I saw last night? I said it yesterday. Saw Teddy Sheringham in the crowd against Newcastle. I'd love Teddy back. Terrible manager. He's managed clubs lower down the league and done really badly. But just that face in the changing room, just to let the players know this is Tottenham Hotspur you're playing for. This is the greatest club in the world, And yes, of course, I am being a typical fan, right? And thinker with my heart. But Tottenham Hotspur are the greatest club in the world, in my opinion. We don't win everything, of course we don't. But I wouldn't want to support any other club. I love this club with everything I have. And these players need to know how important this club is to us fans. Drula says, I don't want Southgate anywhere near our club. I'm kind of with you there. Machina Joe says, I was just looking at Postecoglou v Frank, Mem stats comparisons. The last statistic was number of times that said mate, and 1,543. Frank, none. Yeah, I don't think Frank's got any mates. Sorry, that's really harsh. He probably has. Just no Spurs fans. The press says, big up Spurs King. I have protested but boycotted Enix since 2018. But that doesn't mean, whilst I have walked away, I have a few friends that deeply entrenched in Spurs. Yeah, it's, you know what? It is what it is. Ghost is saying, Spurs King, I hear it. I don't think fans will do anything unless we have a really poor summer window. And I think this is where, if we get Pochettino in, and it kind of feels like we're using Pochettino as a pawn, right? Get Pochettino in, the fans will get behind Pochettino. If the board don't back Pochettino, hopefully the fans will then turn on the board. The fans should have turned on the board already, to be honest. We shouldn't need to use Pochettino to do that. But it is what it is. Batoa says, how loud is Frank's chewing? Man United, if we go for anyone, I take Giraz as an interim. I don't know too much about him, if I'm honest. I will have to look him up after this. But Ange says, Drula says, Ange on the overlap has dropped. This is going to be very interesting. Yeah, I will be watching it this afternoon as soon as I get back from work. Craig says, I take Harry and Tim Sherwood. I take both of them. Absolutely agree. Not sure whether they both work together. I think if Harry Redknapp was to come in, he would need help. He couldn't do it all alone. And so I would definitely bring in someone alongside him. But they'd have to be on the same page, obviously. Maybe Sherwood and Harry would work. I don't know. Press says the problem is, Ghosted. It seems fans who go to home games are still under the illusion ENIC built them a stadium, forgetting they took fans' money, poured it into the stadium at the expense of the team. Absolutely bang on. Absolutely bang on. Listen, stadium is beautiful, right? It is beautiful. And it is what it is. People go there for a day out, and I get it. Used to be back in the day, you go to the football to watch your football. Now it's part of a day out, and I don't know. It's going to be difficult. We just need some results. We need to bring someone in quickly, and they need to turn it around quickly. Guys in, say morning, Nige, and chat. Good morning to you, Guy. I hope you are well, mate. Craig said, trusting this board to sort out this is like trusting Prince Andrew to babysit your kids. Absolutely. Yes. Wow. I'm so glad I read that out. Justin, big up, guys. Big up to you, Justin. I hope you are well, mate. Jamie says, if De Zerbi comes in, my break from watching Spurs will be extended. A lot of people not liking De Zerbi. For me, he's not the answer either. Like I say, he's a front-footed football manager, but I'm not sure he is the man. I think he would explode the club from the inside. Guys, if you haven't, smash that like. I really would appreciate it. And if you haven't subbed to the channel, please sub to the channel. Guy says, I'm going to be recording my first YouTube video for my channel today. Yay. Well, good luck, mate. Stick it out. Let's see. I'm looking forward to watching it already. But guys, if you haven't, get over to Guy and sub to his channel. Guy, drop a link in the chat. Let us know what your channel's called, mate. And we can all go over and sub to it. Kate says, Fort De Zerbi said he wants a break before taking another job. That's what I've heard too. So we will see what happens there. And Machina Joe says, remember when Everton survived relegation 2 years ago with a 10-point deduction? This Spurs team wouldn't survive such. No, we wouldn't, mate. If we got a 10-point deduction, we are done. Absolutely done. Yeah, I remember that. Everton got a 10-point. Then they just like won like six games out of 7 or something like that and went on a fantastic run. That's what Spurs need now. We need a run. I don't think it starts next week though. UK Darren says, you're in a bit of a pickle. We absolutely are. We absolutely are, mate. We are in trouble. Who do you support, mate? Let us know in chat who you support. Rock Spurs says, guys, please listen to the guys in the Overlap podcast. They were interviewed, and every fan must be ENIC out after what it's going to be interesting watching. Part of me doesn't want to go to work, but I have to, which is really annoying, but it is what it is. I will be watching later for sure. Machina Joe, that's not Machina Joe at all. Says Marsh says, how about Gareth Southgate? Big up to you, Marsh. If you haven't, smash a like, hit the subscribe button. Really would appreciate it. Listen, Gareth Southgate probably no for me, but I'm at the point where right now, kind of take anyone. I would take anyone. We need someone to come in and unite this team. Don't worry about the fan base. The fan base are the fan base. We will unite, hopefully, when Poch comes back. But Gareth Southgate, for now, if he united the players and got them playing, as much as I don't want him, I take it. I would take it. It's all about getting results. Ghost is saying, Roxburghs, was it that bad? I'll give it a watch later. Yeah, I'll be watching. Jun says, we are sleepwalking towards relegation and nobody on the board realizes, mate, if they don't realize we're in a relegation battle now, then we are so screwed. We are so screwed. It is what it is. Machina Joe says, Frank chews the chewing gum like he's on the ecstasy hard. Yeah, yeah, he does. Jimmy says, we are getting relegated for sure. We are only left with the attacking players. The rest are injured. We are screwed. No manager can fix this. The January transfer window was crucial and they did very little. Listen, so many good points there. So many good points there, mate. I think, listen, we can get out of it. I'm not giving up yet. I think we will be fine. But you're right. We are down to the bare bones in the attacking areas. It really is a problem. And defensively, we are short as well. So I'm not sure. We've just got to hope a few players come back for the North London derby. Lucky there's a 12 day break before Tottenham's next game. Not ideal for fans because, I hate it when we're not playing. But maybe we need it. Maybe get a few of the injuries back and hopefully get out of trouble. Rock Spurs says they're all ripped the owners left, right, and centre. They're speaking about how big Spurs were, and the owners now don't care about winning. Wow, that is damning stuff, and needed to be said. Hopefully, the owners will be watching that. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they get wind of it. Dr. Tottenham Therapy saying, thanks, mate, and thanks for the sub yesterday. No problem at all, mate. Like I say, as channels, we all have to support each other. It is important because it's not easy in this YouTube world. Anyone who thinks that you just rock up, talk to the camera, and just get loads of subs, you suddenly got thousands of subs, are very wrong. It is hard work. You have to work hard, and it's a lot of time. But listen, it's all good fun. And you know what? I love talking to each and every one of you. It's all about the people in the chat. I do videos as well. They're just not as much fun because you're just talking to nobody. The press says ghosted 100%. The board is beyond incompetent, institutionalized. There are so many who need to leave with Frank. The 8th richest club in the world, yet teams in the top 30 have more ambition. Absolutely. Absolutely, Press. You always talk so well, mate. You've got such good vocabulary. If only I could talk that well. But yeah, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. Marsh says De Zerbi, Emery, Glasner, Maxwell, Pochettino. So that didn't say Glasner, does it? Whoever that is, Matt, I don't even know who that is. I'm gonna have to look him up. My football knowledge is terrible today. But I will definitely look him up. Guy says, in Harry we trust. Send me to an angel. Listen, I would take Harry Redknapp. Piera to Forest, apparently. Okay, well, that's one Spurs won't be getting then. I don't know. Who do we get in? I'm really at a point where I just don't know anymore. I really don't. Dr. Tottenham Therapy says Teddy might say we are second greatest club in the world because he played for United. That's true. That's true. And of course, when he went to West Ham as well, he said, oh, yeah, I always loved West Ham. Don't say that, Teddy. Come on. Come on, Ted. Let us down there, mate. Ghost is saying, I'm off shopping. Big up, Nigel chat. Have a great day, Ghosted, mate. Big up to you. Thank you for your constant support, mate. And he says, smash the likes. Absolutely. Daniel Field is in and saying good mornings. Good mornings to you, mate. I hope you're well. And Betoa said, will you take Ryan Mason? He's a solid guy. No, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Light says, why complain about the board when people wanted Ange out and Frank in? They got him 5 first team players too. Yeah, listen, hey, fans want what they want, right? I mean, Ange had to go. I hate all this Ange and be frank thing. Ange had to go because he was a shocking manager. And I think he's proved that. He went to Forest and done nothing. Yeah. He won us a cup. Fantastic. That's great. But as a manager, bread and butter, he wasn't good enough. And for me, I was excited about Frank coming in. But listen, Frank wasn't the man either. He's proved that. We're terrible. We're just as bad. Is it all on Frank? No. The board have a lot to do with it. The players have a lot to do with it. But listen, it is what it is. As fans, right? This is what we do. Yeah, this is what we do. We support a manager until we don't support a manager, and it's the same with players. We love a player until we don't love a player, and every fan of every club is the same. And it's okay to be like that. It's okay. The press says my three for next Spurs manager: Dynamo, Papa Shango, Mola Ram from Indiana Jones. Each one might be able to conjure players out of thin air. I like it. I like it, mate. Big up to you. I'm not even going to attempt to read that name because yeah. But big up to you, Al. Says Spurs need to take over new owners. They absolutely do. Beto says, I will take AI as a new manager. Tell you what, that's not a bad shout. That is not a bad shout. It really isn't. And Dino says, latest Nigel, I have to crack on with work now. Great morning show as usual. Thanks for putting my channels out there. I need to come on for a chat soon, possibly. Have a great day. Absolutely 100%. And we'll get you on the show, mate, and get your channel out there because it is a great channel. And he said, Dino THFC, my YouTube channel is Dino Coys Chit Chat. So, guys, get over to Dino Coys Chit Chat. Smash a sub for him. Like I say, he does great work. A lot of it sat in his van. Question of the day. Good to get, get chatting and get over to his channel and smash a sub if you haven't. Marcus says, morning, Nige, my friend. Good morning to you, Marcus. I hope you are well. And Giant Panda's in, saying good morning. Good morning to you, Giant Panda. And he also says, Ange exposed the club's transfer policy and why things went wrong in the league. He is 100% correct. I cannot wait to watch this overlap. I really can. And he says nothing will change under these orgs. No, I agree. I agree. Oh, no, I didn't even think of that, Drula. Do you think they go and get Sterling? Quite possibly now. Quite possibly. Maybe they will. Oh, wow. I didn't think of that. Maybe we're going for Sterling now. Listen, I'm at the point where I take him. That's how desperate we are. I will take a Sterling. This is where we are as a club. Shem Tam says, start petition now. Frank for Forest. We need all the help we can get. Why not? Why not? Kate says, Nige, while one board member didn't know there was 11 players on the pitch. Exactly. Shows the novices we got running the club. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bang on. Yeah. Mateo says, what the hell, Sterling? You mean the currency? Listen, we're at that point now, aren't we? We have no wingers. We have no wingers, so I take him. Guy says, oh my God, you tried, mate. You tried. Rock Spurs, my Ange hate has vanished today after that interview in the overlap. I need to watch it. I might fall in love with Ange again. Who knows? I might be cool. I might do a video later saying Ange in, get Ange back. Who needs Pochettino anyway? Of course, I am joking. The press says I would take the reins as the next Spurs manager. I think you do a great job, mate. And Machina Joe says Frank for Forest. Absolutely. Going back to this comment, the press, I would take the reins of the next Spurs manager, mate. I would employ you because you are freaking huge. The guy's like 7 foot tall, built like a tank. Yeah, come in, mate. Come in. You were scared of players shitless. They would play for you 100%. Just so MJO says Forest have improved since Ange left them on a hiding to nothing now. I mean, they have improved a little bit, but not too much. Not too much. Giant Panda says, stop it. Ange said he wanted top quality signings and he named the players, but then he said they gave him a bunch of kids. Really? Wow. Wow. Damn it. Batua said, I'm loving Big Ange. I suppose Ange can say this now, right? Because He's been at another club since Spurs. He can say what he wants. It's going to be interesting watching. Binny Guy saying so many content creators should take a good look at themselves over the years. The amount of flip flop all over kinds of issues. Some suggested that now we have to tell and etc. We don't need Son. Listen, I think it's one of them. At the end of the day, right? Big up to you, Binny Guy, by the way. We are all fans. We are all fans at the end of the day. None of us know any better than anyone else. And this is why I can't stand it when people like are just like so forthright. I'm right, you're wrong. For me, we're all fans, we're all right, we're all wrong. You know, we all get things right, we all get things wrong. It is what it is. You know, when something happens, when Spurs make a signing, some of us are happy, some of us are not. That signing might go on to be brilliant, he might go on to be crap. You know, it is what it is. This is what we do as fans. It is what it is. Many guys saying, where are they now? This club is a joke. We are. Son's not the same. I totally agree. But then where are the so-called goal scorers? And this is it. Listen, I was one of the ones, yes. And Sonny's done. He's no good for Spurs anymore. And listen, he wasn't the same player. But right now, would I take Sonny? Hell fucking yeah, I'd take Sonny. Of course I would. Um, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Binny Guy saying we don't have a goalkeeper, we don't have goal scorers, we don't have good passes. Yeah, we're fucked, mate. Oh man, we are so done. You know what? On that night, no, I'm pretty much going to leave it now. Just going to say hello to R. Williams. Big up to you, mate. Said more than Nigel in chat. Some of those players need to go, and I think they are bigger and better than they are. Absolutely agree. 100%. Giant Panda saying, and spoke of how the club wouldn't change the wage structure, yet he claimed he wanted to win on all fronts. Wow, we're getting some news out, aren't we? We're getting some things coming out. Guys, I am going to leave it there. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Smash a like, hit a sub if you haven't. Have a great day. And as always, stay positive, stay poised, and stay pure Coys.